Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a brand new series of You Can See Hearts of Iron 4. I know I said I wasn't going to be doing any playthroughs of Hearts of Iron 4 because it just wasn't in my budget. But luckily enough, one of my close friends got a hold of me and was like, "Hey, Keeves, you want Hearts of Iron 4? I'll buy, I'll buy it for you, yeah, make some videos." He said. I said, "Great." So here I am. Uh, so here we go. Hearts of Iron 4. We're actually going to go like this. Select country and take a look at the map. So as you can see, I had to drop the graphics a bit. But we're going to start a game as Hungary. I did a Hungary playthrough as Hearts of Iron 3. We're going to do it again as Hearts of Iron 4 because it was probably my favorite playthrough. We're going to do, and because that's who I practiced with, as you can see. I played a couple hours of Hearts of Iron 4 already. I got a hang of it, sort of. We'll see how we go. See how it goes. So there's some pretty glaring differences between Hearts of Iron 3 and Hearts of Iron 4. I don't know why I did that. Probably the most glaring obvious, the most blazingly obvious thing on here is that Hearts of Iron 4 does not have the order of battle like Hearts of Iron 3 does. You don't have HQs, you don't have cores, you don't have, armies, army groups, any of that stuff. All you have is a single army. So select everything and I go click on this sucker down here and it creates a new army. Give them a general, and that's the best you can do. That is the best we can do. Right here on this side, you can see there's experience level on these divisions, and their experience level is 2 trained. So I can increase the experience of them. I can bring them up to regulars, which is experience level 3. In order to do that, I just hit this bad boy right here, exercise. So once the divisions get to where they need to go, they'll start doing the exercise. Their organization, which is the green bar over here, will drop down to 20% of what it is, and they'll start taking a little bit of attrition, about 6% attrition. But that's how you get that up. But yeah, let's go on here. Research. So you got 3 technologies you can research at one time at the beginning. You can increase that, but for now, that's all we got. First research is basic machine tools, which is going to increase my efficiency production, or efficiency cap, sorry. I'm going to go for this bad boy right here, which is construction. And the last one is research time, electronic mechanical engineering. So when it comes to production in Hearts of Iron 4, works different than Hearts of Iron 3 in the fact that you don't have industrial capacity anymore. You have what's called factories. So you have civilian factories, which handle all this stuff right here. Infrastructure, air bases, anti-air, the factories, dockyards, nuclear reactor, all this stuff. Like, this is the things that the civilian factories work on. And there's a cap on how many factories each one can have. Military factories, however, handle the military production queue, which is this one right here. So every division that you have on the map uses a certain amount of supplies, right? Whether it's guns and grenades right here, or if it's med packs and ammunition and radios right here, which is sport equipment, or other stuff like artillery or aircraft or whatever, right? So all your units require a certain amount of something in order to operate, other than manpower itself, right? If it's tanks, you need to build tanks so that the crew can operate the tanks, that kind of stuff. So this is where it's done, and military factories are the ones that do it. So we're going to start off, we're going to make one of those. We're going to do 3 of the infantry equipment, and we're going to keep the support equipment as it is, and we're going to do 2 artillery. So right here, it'll tell you your need for your divisions that you have right now. Right now, the total need is filled, right? Support equipment, total need is filled. Artillery, total need is filled. We don't really need any more. But we can stockpile this stuff for later use. So if we get more divisions and all that other shit, we have some spare. Up here, though, you'll see, well, on this side, you'll see how many you make a day or a week, or in this case, a year. 6.5 per day of infantry equipment, 2.64 per week of support equipment, and 11.4 per year of towed artillery. Now that's going to change because right here we're only working at a 10% production efficiency, and that's going to increase 0.1% every week, right? Also, I have on there, you see a lack of resources, 90% hit on the lack of resources. So that's, we'll get to that in a minute. Next, you have the focuses. So each of the focuses give bonuses to various shit. Every country has different focuses. Whoever you're playing as, you can kind of go over it. But the one that we're going to go over right now, actually the first one, is we're going to get political effort, which is going to give us 120 political power. Political power is this bad boy right here. It changes 1 per day. Right now, I get +1 per day. And political power is used to change government laws over here, right? So I can get advisors. I could have tank designers, ship designers, aircraft designers, whatever. I can have military staff like a chief army or the military high command or chief air force or whatever, right? Or I can change my conscription laws, trade laws, economy laws, that stuff. You also need political power in order to, for example, justify a war goal on somebody, right? I need political power in order to do that, and so on. Here's the training screen. This is where you train your units. Right now, there's nothing in training. Over here, you'll see the divisions that you can have. So you can have a division designer. You can make your own, right? Or you can edit the ones that are already there. So I'm going to edit this one. And you can see right here, this is the general division. It's made up of different brigades, and you can expand these brigades as you want, right? You can just go like this and just expand. A total of 25 brigades is the max, I think. Yeah, right, that's the max. So currently all our units are rocking a 6 brigade division. On here you can have also support divisions, up to 5 there, right? So that gives you a max of 25 combat divisions with 5 support divisions. So that's 30 altogether, right? Over here you'll see the stats and everything like that, and you can change it however you want. Oh, I didn't even read that before. That's new. But right now we're going to train some infantry divisions. We're going to do 5, like so, and we're going to do it twice. You can either set it so that it's infinitely building units, but we don't want to do that right now. We want to do twice. You have to set the location on when they're going to build. We're going to set it right here, and Northern Hungary, which means they're probably going to launch in Budapest. So in order for you to get units, you have to make sure you have both the manpower and the equipment. If you have, it's basically kind of a, imagine this like a computer code. If this is completed, then the fully trained unit will pop out at April 1st, 1936, right there. So as long as you have the manpower and the infantry, then you will get your unit at the allotted time frame. If not, it's going to keep kind of clicking on, right? So that's where that infantry equipment comes into play, right here, right? So now instead of saying filled, it says total need 2,474. Do, do no template. Oh, for the towed artillery, that's not important. Basically, it's saying that none of my, or this regiment doesn't have artillery in its thing. Not a big deal. Low manpower. And here's the resources. So this is trade. Basically, what you do is you trade resources for civilian factories. So civilian factories, remember what I was talking about was the stuff that makes up the this build screen. It also is used for trade. So if I need, as an example, 2 tungsten and 10 steel, right? Here's tungsten, there's steel. If I need tungsten, I need to trade a civilian factory for it, right? So I trade with Portugal, 1 civilian factory for 8 tungsten, and they're like, oh, okay. Or here, if I need steel, which I need 10 of, I trade with the German Reich. I trade them 2 civilian factories for 16 steel. So I have a surplus, but all my shit is working the way it is. So that's the general gist of it. Oh, instead of in Hearts of Iron 3, instead of having neutrality, now what we have is called world tension. So as crazy fascists start doing crazy shit, the world tensions increase. I'm usually the guy who causes world tension. So if it's a democratic country, usually a world tension has to be at a certain level before they can get like, say, maybe not that, but economy, like partial mobilization. If he's fascist or communist, he can get it right away as long as he has 150 political power. But if he's not fascist or communist, which means he's a democratic country, then you need to be either at war or more than 15% world tension. Then he can get partial mobilization. Make sense? Makes sense. Okay. If it doesn't make sense, that's fine. It didn't make any fucking sense to me either when I first started. So, what else was I going to say? So, right now I'm going to do a few. I'm going to start jabbing at Hearts of Iron 4 a little bit. If this is your first time watching a Let's Play, or if this is, you just stumbled on here and you aren't sure if you want to purchase Hearts of Iron 4, if you're a fan of Hearts of Iron 3, I'm going to go over some gripes, some shit about Hearts of Iron 4 that bugs me. A. Resource distribution in Hearts of Iron 4 is very important, but it's highly, highly one-sided towards the major powers. If you want to play a minor power like Hungary, you're going to get completely hosed when it comes to resource. Here's an example. My resource, I got 4 steel. Steel is used for fucking everything. You need steel for everything. I get 4 steel. I get 1 oil, and I got 194 aluminum. Why do I have 194 aluminum? I don't know, but I have 194 aluminum. Let's browse over and take a look at Germany, shall we? Who has 90 steel there, 20 steel there, 100 steel there, 54 steel there, 60 steel there, 110 steel there, 36 steel there. Like the amount of steel that Germany has is absolutely ballistic. On top of them, he also has chromium. He also has tungsten. He also has oil. If I wasn't coming in on this and started to steal shit from Austria, which I'm planning to do, he would have their oil and their steel and the aluminum they provide. He also has aluminum down here and aluminum over there, and aluminum over there. Like the resources that the major powers get is absolutely astonishing. Here, let's look at France. France, a relatively minor major power. It's a major power, but it's minor in the sense what it does. This sucker has like 500 steel just kicking around. And of course, if you know anything about World War II history, Uh, Bet you anything, Germany is going to wander on in here and take all that steel as well. Awesome. Germany has all the steel. Look at this. Fucking United Kingdom. Look at all the steel they got. Right? Let's compare that to Ireland, who has three. Right? It's astounding how much of a difference a minor and a major power have when it comes to raw resources. Right? Um, look at Turkey. Poor fucking Turkey. And here's another example. Look at um, uh, Yugoslavia, right? Turkey is one example. He has a buttload of chromium everywhere. He has nothing else. Does he want to have uh, some sort of mobile army? Does he want to have airplanes? Well, he can't have it because he has a shitload of chromium and only like 20 steel. This guy, 4 steel and a whole pile of other useless shit. And I'm in the same goddamn boat, 4 steel and a whole pile of other semi-useless shit. Like the resource distribution is absolute, like, insanity. That's my first gripe. That's gripe number one. Gripe number two, all the quality of life things about Hearts of Iron 3, such as unit, like the little window right here where you can select all the units and everything like that, that was on Hearts of Iron 3, right around where my mouse was, where you could do like air units and any kind of combat, all that stuff. It's gone. Okay, it's gone. However, there's no alternative to that in Hearts of Iron 4. I cannot see just by glancing at it how the battles are going. I'd have to go look at here. And this mess, there'll be like little icons right beside there to let me know, beside my armies, if they're winning or losing in any kind of combat. And even then, it's like the algorithms that the game uses is absolute horseshit. When you go into a battle, I've like it can swing from you're winning a battle to you're completely losing a battle in a matter of seconds. Like, and there's absolutely, how in Hearts of Iron 3, when you go to attack, they'll say, like there's an 84% chance that you're going to win. And then it starts ticking up the closer you go to the end or something like that. This one will say there's an 84 chance or percent chance you're going to win, or 84 percent to the whatever. There's an 84 on the fucking screen, right? But you're losing the fight. It's like, why is that 84 there then? Like, if I don't even understand how that works. And then the unit reinforcement chance is so low that, say if you have a stack of like 10 units and you go to attack a province, there's a good chance that only 2 are ever going to attack, and the other 8 are just going to sit in reserves with full organization and never go into attack, while the first 2 like blaze through their organization and never move. Trying to do things, move units manually, is like cancer. It Hearts of Iron 4 wants you to play it automated. It wants you to. The way the UI is set up, the way the gameplay is set up, is trying to make you automate your, like, put it into your army, use these battle plans, set it all up, and then press fucking play or activate. And as soon as the battle starts, then it goes. Because trying to manually do it is, at least from what I can understand or from what I can gather, is an absolute headache. Um, let's see what else. I know this is a lot of bitching, but honestly, it's there's a lot of gripes I have with this game. There's a lot of gripes. Like, it's not a bad game, in some ways. Um, the focus tree. The focus trees. There's a lot of focuses on here that are pretty useless. Um, these armament effects, even though they take 70 days, it takes like very few days to actually build a military factory when you have a decent setup. So those armament effects aren't really make much of a point. Okay, political power gain. Change. I'm gonna pick this guy. Who's gonna give me a plus 15% political power gain. Um, what else? There are. Yeah. Shit. What else? Um, the air setup. I didn't show you this, but this is how the air setup works. Um, I don't know if it's just my game resolution or what it is, but in order for me, say I'm in this air, the Northern Balkans air region, right? And I want to do something in the Alpine region here. I select my fighter right here, but it says on this side Northern Balkans. So in order for like this is where the assignments are done. So in order for me to do something in that region, I have to like move this sucker out of the way, then click on Alpine region, and then select. Or the other option is just select this and then if my guys are close enough. They're not close enough right now. But say they are. Uh, let's see. Fucking like even moving that might have to do with my game resolution though. Oh, that's in the way. Awesome. So yeah, in order for me to do it, like there's ways to do that. You can select Alpine region, just do assign all, and then you can give them their plans to do, which is okay. Uh, I find that Hearts 4 has taken a huge amount of influence from the Black Ice mod in Hearts of Iron 3. The way the combat system works, there's a large modifiers that happen in defensive and offensive operations so that there's a major bonus to a defensive player. Um, as long as somebody is in, like, say I was on the other side of this river right here, right? My units were on the other side of the river and an attacking force was coming on this side. If there was hills or things like that, and as long as I had air cover in the area, it is near impossible to get across that river. Near impossible. You either have to have extremely extremely good troops, or uh, like air cover, or you just got to nuke the shit out of the other side of the river, or the defender on the other side of the river just doesn't have enough units. But if there was 5 or 6 on each province, and the defender has air superiority, there's no way the attacker's going to get across that friggin' river. They're going to throw units at it all day. At least that's what I have seen on my previous playthrough when I was just dinking around. Let's do this one as well. When I was just dinking around before and just learning the game, I started as Hungary. I took out Austria, and then I got myself just pissed off at everybody. So somehow I got to war with France because they I can't remember, they guaranteed the independence of somebody around here that I declared war on. So I went to war with France, and I was like, and then France became part of the Allies, and then so I was at war with like everybody. So I'm like, I'm gonna test some things out and just see how it goes. So I had the Austrian lands here. I decided to place my units right here in these mountain units or mountain provinces in the Alps, and I declared war on Switzerland. And when I declared war on Switzerland, they joined the Allies, and like everyone just kind of came at me. Even the Americans had troops there. So I sat in this mountainous area, and I did not have air superiority, but I held off for ages. Like just it was insane how long I just sat there and just took wave after wave of 25 stacks when I had like eight stack here and an eight stack there of like divisions, and I just sat there and just shrugged them off for the longest time, even though they had air superiority. So if they didn't have air superiority, I probably could have sat there till the end of time. Eventually, they did crack it by just doing like mass or mass assaults of units. But if they didn't do mass assaults of units, there's no way they would have cracked that. So yeah, I think in the end, um, I got I was done with that playthrough, so I stopped the game. And I think at the end you could see like the statistics on the battlefield or whatever. France was the one who attacked me the most. I think I lost in that whole thing about maybe 27,000 troops. France was up to 526,000 units dead. So just because they were just throwing units at me nonstop. It was ridiculous, really. All right, you can see here now the military equipment thing has changed. Um, oh, right, I forgot to do this. Justify war goal. There we go. So it's going to be December 29th, 1936 when I can declare war on Austria. Um, what else was I thinking here? Yeah, so there's a large modifier bonus to the defender. Large modifier bonus. So when it comes to building your troops or your divisions, I figured out that soft attack and breakthrough, when you're attacking a defended position, is absolutely vital. Having those as high as possible is just crucial in getting that. So yeah, that's uh, that's what I got. All right, these guys, you can see they're regulars now. So when they're done here, I'm just going to stop the exercise when they're all done, which is soon. I'll stop the exercise and then their organization will come back up and they'll stop having attrition problems. Oh, one more. This is the stubborn guy. He doesn't want to train. He's like, no, I want to sit in my bunk and just sleep. There we go. So there we go. You'll see the go back up. All right. I had a nice big old rant there about this game. Yeah, like I know I kind of went a little bit ballistic about how the game works. There's a few things though I do enjoy about it. Oh, there was another thing that I didn't like. I want to mention the mini map. The mini map that was down here was very useful getting around. Say if you're playing in Hearts of Iron 4, you're playing as the United Kingdom, uh, and you have to take a look at all your holdings, especially the ones in like uh, Southeast Asia. You either have to go like this and go all the way down here, and then okay, there you are, or you have to just scroll like this. There's no way to do it faster unless you have troops there, and you can select this and you go like that, right? But if you don't have troops over there, or if you just want to take a look at what's going on, or whatever, you don't think about doing that, or you forgot who's over there, or anything of that nature, there's no little map for you to just quickly click on. You know, quality of life shit. Why isn't it there? So, That's a little thing. Now, a few things that they did do right. Uh, I do like how they changed the industrial capacity or out. They switched it out and they swapped to this setup. I think that's kind of cool, right? I like the idea of civilian factories and military factories. I just, I don't know. That kind of is a cool thing. Um, it could be changed a little bit, but it wouldn't take much to really change it. Okay. One thing I want to mention here, though, if you take a look at this, you have on this industry side, you got two different types of industry with this little sucker in the middle. Basically, what it means is I can select this one or this one. I can't do both. So there's concentrated industry, which gives more factory output, or there's this one which has a little less factory output, but it allows they have factory bomb vulnerability or less. They're less vulnerable to bombings, and they have what's called production efficiency retention. So that if you switch out and put military factories in and out, it's going to not affect it as much. I'm going to do the concentrated industry because I like it. I like that output. Um, Another thing I really enjoy about Hearts of Iron, I do like this tree, this tech tree. I think this is a much better tech tree. I wish they name certain things a little bit better, like weapons 1, weapons 2, right? Weapons 3. I wish these had a little bit better names. Um, you know, motorized, mechanized 1, mechanized 2, mechanized 3. It's just so bland and pointless. It's like, we just got weapons 2. Well, what does that mean? You just got weapons 2, right? Uh, L tank 2, right? I wish they did a little bit, they were a little more thought out when it came to that. But I do like how this is set up. I like it how they have specific branches. You can see all the branches. You can see the years that those things are available, what time, and you know, I like it how they have mutually exclusive stuff, so you can only do this one or this one or this one or that one, and then it opens up a branch. I do like that. So the research thing is a lot better, I believe. Uh, I like it how they have this equipment set up. It adds a really neat metagame to it. You actually have to really thoughtfully prepare how you want to set up your troops because you have to make sure that you stockpile a certain amount of weapons for things like that. Um, the only downside I have with this is that once you upgrade, say I was bitching about weapons 1 and 2 and 3 and so on. If I have weapons 1 and I have a huge stockpile of weapons 1, when I go to weapons 2 and start producing those, this stockpile of weapons 1 is completely useless again now. So I could have potentially a massive stockpile of weapons that I can't do anything with. It would be nice if there was a way to be able to sell it or trade it off to a neighbor. Um, and then here's that nice little thing where you can see how much you have stockpiled, right? It's useful. Um, I think a lot of the problems that I have with Hearts of Iron 4 could be changed with just tweaks. And I know that's a stupid thing to say because as soon as I say something like that, it's just going to come across as, oh, just toss it into a DLC. Some of these things could easily be added with just a patch. They have the resources to do it, right? Just toss it into a patch. Don't make a don't make me pay a $40 DLC just to have a mini map. Come on. Come on. Paradox, don't do that to me, right? Oh, another bitch. Here's another bitch. And this is a bitch that just pisses me off because it's like Paradox are bloody lazy when it comes to this shit. Here we go. Uh, diplomacy. There's Adolf Hitler, right? We all recognize him. There's Neville Chamberlain. We recognize that guy. Right over here, Edouard Daladier. If you're French, you might recognize him, but everyone else is like, who the fuck is that? Mussolini, right? Recognize that guy. Roosevelt, right? Recognize this guy. Now, let's look over here. Jorge Ubico from Guatemala. Okay, looks like a pretty friendly little guy there. Not bad. Well, let's see who's the leader of El Salvador. Oh shit, it's the exact same guy, right? But it's Maximiliano Hernandez Martinez. The fucking same picture. They didn't even change the color. Nothing. Exact same picture. Same guy. Oh, oh, well, this guy in Honduras. Um, Look, they changed the color of his suit and gave him a bow tie. Like, what the fuck is this shit? You know? I understand this is hand drawn shit, but come on. This many countries of the leaders of them, uh, like Peru, Chile, you know? Oh, Brazil gets their own guy. Uruguay, Paraguay, and figure this shit out. Bolivia randomly has its own portrait. Argentina, I can kind of understand, but Bolivia? Why Bolivia? I'm genuinely curious. Like Cuba, nobody, right? None of these guys, nobody. It's just it boggles my mind. It boggles my mind. Um, and this is what's going to bother me too is I know that Paradox is going to put out a DLC. It's like minor countries portraits DLC for $5. And I'm just like, Paradox. Come on. You know, so I read on Reddit, I think it was yesterday, someone mentioned that um, the leaders and the general portraits for Hearts of Iron 3 was something like, I want to say 11,000 little portraits, right? Or 14,000 portraits. You know, the little portraits of every single leader, every single political individual, every single general, all this stuff, all those little portraits, right? It was cool. You got to see everything, admirals, uh, off of the generals of for every single country. It was unique, and you got to see every single one, the portrait from every single country, and it didn't matter what country it was. There was no just generic picture. Well, there was some pictures that they crossed for different guys, right? Different guys got different pictures, or different guys got the same pictures on some countries. I've seen it before. But it was like 14,000. And Hearts of Iron 4 is something like 400 pictures used. And I bet you as anything, it's all just major factions that got those pictures, right? You know, I got this guy, Miklos Horthy, but yeah. And I got two generals. Well, what would he fucking do, right? I don't know. It seems like I understand that they wanted to make self-done or self-portraits or everything like that and make it look kind of good, but at the same time, God, yeah, you could have done better. It just bugs me. So I I think that Hearts of Iron 4 is a decent game. Um, Question is it better than Hearts of Iron 3? Not yet. I think it has the possibility to be. It's a little less railroaded than Hearts of Iron 3 is. Like Hearts of Iron 3 kind of railroads you to follow a certain path, and unless you really go a little ape shit, like doing a world conquest or something like that, or just completely not follow the historical pathways, you still have to follow a certain path, right? Um, in Hearts of Iron 4, though, it seems like there's more. It seems like it's less railroaded. Things can go a little more ballistic. a little easier, right? It's much, much easier to become a fascist or communist or democratic country, right? It's much, much easier as a fascist country to start creating world tension, even though you're not Germany, like as Hungary. Um, I can start my own faction and create a very large world tension in Europe here and Germany. Like I could take on Austria and Czechoslovakia and Romania. I could, as Hungary, I could start World War II, and Germany will just sit there and watch me. I could do that. Um, so allowing that kind of uh, less railroaded approach of Hearts of Iron 4 is kind of nice. Um, and there's some other things that Hearts of Iron 4 does pretty well. I like their air, like they've made air battles a lot more important. We don't have to deal with the convoluted supply system that Hearts of Iron 3 has to deal with. Um, the AI will invade now, uh, ocean invade. Trying to do an ocean invade yourself, however, is is like trying to give yourself an ice pick lobotomy. But um, the AI will invade over the ocean, which is a big thing to say, considering that in Hearts of Iron 3 they avoided ocean invasions like the plague. So those are a few things that have improved, but there's a lot of things that need to improve over time. And you know what? I know this is probably way over. I'm starting to become way over time here, but I really want to bitch about just the game industry in general. I'm sick of getting games, purchasing games, or like in this case, this game was gifted to me, which was pretty awesome. But I'm sick of having games come out in in release and you're playing it and you're just like, oh, this game is shit now. It's going to be good in a year or two, right? But right now it's shit. I'm sick of that. I'm sick of that thought. Why can't a fucking game developer put out a good game at launch? How is that so impossible to do? It seems like the only groups or the only developers that tend to do that are indie developers. But any of the development, big, large gaming companies, it's near impossible for them to put out a good fucking game at launch, it seems. It's become so status quo that a game comes out at launch and you're just like, well, I bought that game. It's okay now, but I bet you it's going to be really good in 2 years, right? Son of a bitch. Like, and the problem is, here's the problem is that big development companies no longer have beta stages anymore, like true beta stages. They do early release or uh, what's it called again? Early access, or they do open betas, which isn't really betas, and they basically handed it off to the general public. But they charge the general public money for it. They're like, here, join our open beta for $40. And the general public's like, oh, okay. And they start playing the game, and they view it like a launch. Basically, open beta means nothing anymore, absolutely nothing. But back in the day when came out with these games, open beta was actually something. Now it means fucking nothing. Or sorry, before it was alpha, closed beta, and then finally, if they wanted to do stress testing on the game or really make it, really fine tune the game, they do open beta, and that's it, right? And open beta was pretty rare when I first started playing video games. It was pretty rare. It was mostly alpha and closed beta. And alpha was like the developers got a hold of their friends. It was like, here, have an alpha copy, or like people who did reviews and stuff like that. Here, have alpha copy. We want to figure out how to make this game better. That's the most they did. But now these games are just tossed out right? Made into fucking hype machines. Like Hearts of Iron 4 didn't get the hype machine as much as Stellaris did, right? Stellaris got the hype machine like you wouldn't fucking believe. Everybody was hyped about Stellaris, and Stellaris is still a good game, but it's another game from Paradox where you sit there and you're like, wow, this will be a really good game in a year or two once they get some DLCs out, and that sucks. That really sucks. And so I know this is a really long video, and a good portion, at least half of this, was just bitching. But it's my feelings on this. It really is my feelings on this. But anyways, I want to thank you all for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this episode of me bitching away about Paradox and just the gaming industry in general. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, I implore you to please do it. I don't usually bitch this often or this much when I play. Um, just every once in a while I do. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. And I always love your guys' feedback, your comments, all the crazy shit you have to say. So don't forget to put that in the comment section below. Thank you again. Till next time.